Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, in this opportunity, we would like to explain about the principle of phrase structure with tree diagrams. The presenters for today are me, Rika Galuh Pratiwi, and the second is Rahmatus Sofiulali, and the third is Anggrahita Niken Pratiwi, and the fourth is Iftinan Rose Putri Savana, and the fifth will be Imelsa Dwi Veronica, and the last will be Siva Amelia. So the rules and trees. In generative grammar, generalizations about structure are represented by rules. These rules are said to generate the tree. So today's topic that we are going to explain are called phrase structures rule because they generate the phrase structure tree of a sentence. So first I'm gonna talk about noun phrase. The simplest noun phrase contains only a noun, usually a proper noun, pronoun, and mass noun or plural noun. For the example, in the first rule we got noun phrase is contain only noun. For example, wallet. So let's revise this rule to account for the present of determiner. So noun phrase is a determiner plus noun. For the example, the boy. The as determiner and boy as the noun. The next we got nouns can also be additionally modified by adjective and also take professional phrases modifier. So we revise our rules again to become noun phrase is contained of determiner, adjective phrases, noun, and also proportional phrases. For the example, the small bowl of noodles. In here, the is the determiner, small as adjective phrases, and noun is a bowl, and of noodles is a proportional phrases. But noun phrase can have more than one adjective and more than one proportional phrase in an English noun phrase. So for the example, the small cute bowl of noodle with disposable chopstick. So the noun phrase are contents of determiner, adjective phrase more than once, noun, and proportional phrase more than once. So the as determiner, small and cute as adjective phrases, and bowl as a noun, of noodle with disposable chopstick as a professional phrases.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For the next discussion, I would like to explain about adjective phrase and adverb phrase. So, before we come to the further discussion, let's take a look on the definition it's first. So, adjective phrase is a group of words that includes an adjective to modify noun or pronoun in a sentence. So, for example, the word red hair. Red is the adjective and it modifies noun hair. And like black pocket, black is the adjective and it modifies noun pocket. Meanwhile, adverb phrase is a group of words that function as adverb in a sentence, so it used to modify adjective, verb, noun, and etc. For example, like the word very small. Very is the adverb and it modifies the adjective small. Let's take a look on example. Let's see in the first noun phrase, the word the little black pocket. The little black pocket, actually the word little and black are adjectives and it modifies pocket, they modify pocket. So the word little and black are two different constituents, so they both stand for their own self, they are stand alone. So if you see in the tree diagram, it would be the noun phrase is consists of two adjectives that modifies the one noun. The word little modify pocket, and black also modify pocket. That is why if you see in the tree diagram, we have two adjectives that modifies one noun. So, however, if you see the word black actually function as adverb because they explain to the word small. That is why above the adjective, black function as adverb, but small remain become the adjective. Let's take a look on the next example. The word the very black pocket. Very black is adjective phrase. It is because the very is modifies black. Very doesn't modify pocket. Very only modifies black. That is why very black is one constituent they call as adjective phrase. Why? Because it gives more information about the pocket. That is why very black is one together constituent. So if you see if in the tree diagram, adjective phrase is consists of adverb phrase and adjective. So the adverb is the very and the adjective is the black. That's all about the adjective phrase. Well, next we have principle of modification. Actually, modifier are always attached to the every phrase they modify. So modifier can stand alone. They always follow. They always attach into the noun, verb, or adjective, on etc. Well, the last will have adverb phrase. So adverb phrase, the rule of adverb phrase specifies the modifier of adverb phrase is another kind of adverb phrase. So the structure will be adverb phrase plus adverb, not adverb plus adverb. So for example, if you see in the tree diagram, adverb phrase which consists of adverb phrase and adverb. For example, like the word very quickly. Very is the head of the lower adverb phrase, and quickly is the head of the higher one, the higher adverb phrase. So it means we have two adverbs, very and quickly. So it means that we have two adverb phrase because each of the word has its own head in the adverb. That is why it called adverb phrase. That's all my explanation about adjective phrase and adverb phrase. Please don't hesitate to ask if you have any question. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you today guys? I hope that all of you have a nice day and stay healthy, okay? Well, my name is Anggrahita Nikan Pratiwi and today my ID number is 19320079. Here I would like to give you a presentation and the topic is about tree diagram. But in this section, I only focus on prepositional phrase. So now let's start with the first section and it is about prepositional phrase. In prepositional phrase, we must take preposition as the head of the phrase, but I think it is not most, it is like must for us to take preposition as the head of the phrase. If only we would like to construct the phrase as prepositional phrase and it is followed by noun phrase. However, in several sources, I found that preposition is not only followed by noun phrase. It means that there are also several, like in clause or WH clause or what else? Pronoun, yes, also pronoun. They are also following preposition. Okay, so now let's look at the rule of prepositional phrase. As you can see, in this rule, noun phrase is following preposition. I mean, noun phrase comes after prepositional phrase. And for further explanation, the writers say that it is obligatory for preposition. Now let's look at the example. Okay, in this example, we have noun phrase. In the first example, we have noun phrase which is following preposition on, and the third comes after preposition on, and then it constructs to be a prepositional phrase. In the second example, we have a pronoun me, which comes after preposition with, and then it constructs to be a prepositional phrase. Next, we have a WH clause, in which it is WH clause and noun clause. What she did comes after from, and then it constructs to be prepositional phrase. And here is another information about prepositional phrase. In a given rule, the rule that we have already discussed in the third slide, noun phrase and other like in the previous examples are an obligatory for prepositional phrase. However, in several evidences, there are also cases in which take preposition, noun phrase and other to be as an option for prepositional phrase. And here are the explanations. In the first explanation, as you can see, the writer said that there is a class of preposition, traditionally called particles, that don't require a following noun phrase. And here are the examples. Following the examples, the writer clarifies that even though all these particles look similar to preposition, or at least homophones with them, there is also some debate about whether they are preposition or no. In the next explanation, I tried to look for about the definition of preposition and particle, and as you can see, that preposition it comes from Cambridge Dictionary. Prepositions are most commonly followed by a noun phrase or a pronoun or the ing form of a verb. However, on the contrary, a particle is a word, normally an adverb added to a verb to form a phrasal verb. And here are the examples. He looked up, up. The plane took off. In this third explanation, I took from a journal and I emphasized in the word particle. I didn't find it very clear most of the times called a particle. According to some, a particle can be either a preposition or an adverb. If we believe other, then it only be an adverb. The verb plus preposition compounds are then simply called as prepositional verbs. Some linguists establish the difference between adverbial particles and prepositional adverbs, but unfortunately, I still couldn't find about the difference of adverbial particles and prepositional adverbs. Furthermore, there is a Bollinger even adds a fourth category which he calls as adverbs. And here is the explanation. A prepositional adverb is a particle that can be either preposition or an adverb, whereas an adverb is a prepositional adverb, which is a preposition and an adverb one at the same time. Here is the sources that I used, and thank you very much for your nice attention, and see you.
Hello everyone, my name is Iftan Rose Putri Savana with ID number 19320073. Here I would like to continue the discussion. Here we will discuss verb phrase rules. We have 4 rules for verb phrase. The first rule of verb phrase is minimally a verb phrase consists of a single verb. This is the case of intransitives. If the rule is written, it will look like this. Verb phrase consists of verb. And when we want to draw its tree diagram, it will look like in the picture, like verb phrase, and then we draw the line, and then write the V as the construction of the verb phrase, and then we can write the words that categorize as verb, for example, sleep. The second rule of verb phrase is verbs may be modified by adverb or adverb phrase, which are of course optional. If the rule is written, it will look like verb phrase consists of verb modified optionally by adverb phrase. Adverb phrase is written in the parentheses because it is optional. So for example, if we have phrase left quickly and we want to draw its tree diagram, then the tree diagram will look like in the picture. Okay, first we will write the verb phrase or VP and then divide it into two, namely verb as the head and then adverb phrase as the modifier. From left, we know that left is a verb. Then we write that word under the V symbol. And after that, move to the adverb phrase. We know the adverb phrase consists of single word adverb. So that we still have to write the line and then write the adverb or adv. And then from the word left quickly, we know that the adverb word is quickly. Then we just write the quickly under the adv. Interestingly, many of these adverbs can appear on either side of the verb. It means that the adverb can appear in the left side or the right side of the verb. And we can have as many adverb phrases as we like. The rule is verb phrase consists of adverb phrase plus that modify verb, and adverb phrase plus that modify verb again. Here, the adverb phrase is written in the parentheses because it is optional and there is plus there. It means that we can have or write as many adverb phrase as we want. Okay, and then if we have this verb phrase deliberately always left quietly early, and we want to draw its tree diagram, then it will look like in the picture. Okay, first when we write the tree diagram, of course we will write the verb phrase or VP symbol. And then we will divide it into several categories such as adverb phrase, verb, and maybe adverb phrase again. And then as we know, the adverb phrase consists of minimally one word or adverb. Then we still need to write the line like this and then write the adverb symbol adv. And after that, we just write a word that seems suitable with this category. In the phrase, the word that seems suitable with adverb, the first adverb is deliberately. And then the next adverb is always. And then the next category is verb. Then we know the verb of the phrase is left. And then we just write left there. And then the third adverb is quietly. And then the last adverb is early. The third rule of verb phrase is there is a subcategory of verbs that can take a noun phrase object. Usually it is a transitive verb. These noun phrases appear immediately after the verb and before any adverb phrases. If this rule is written, we have a formula like this. Verb phrase consists of adverb phrase plus, optionally, verb, noun phrase, obligation if it is a transitive verb, and then adverb phrase plus, optionally. Then if we have an example of verb phrase such as kissed his mother quietly, then we want to draw its tree diagram, then it will looks like in the picture. First, we will write a verb phrase or VP symbol, and then we divide it into several categories. The first is verb, because we know that it is a verb phrase, and then we write the word that's suitable with this category, namely kissed. Kissed is a verb, then we write kissed under the V. And then the next is noun phrase. We write noun phrase because we know that the verb is transitive. Then we know that noun phrase is consists of determiner and noun. Then we divide it into two, determiner and noun. And we write his as the determiner and mother as the noun. And then move to the next category, namely adverb phrase. And we know that adverb phrase is consists of minimally one word adverb, and we know that from the phrase the adverb is quietly, and then we write quietly under the adv, and then we get this tree diagram. In the third rule, you are allowed to have a maximum of only 2 noun phrases. Why? Because if more, the sentence will not make any sense. So, the derivation of the rule is verb phrase consists of adverb phrase plus optionally verb noun phrase obligation if it is transitive, and the noun phrase optionally, and then adverb phrase plus optionally. Then if we have an example of a phrase like spare the student any embarrassment yesterday, and if we want to draw its tree diagram, then it will look like in the picture. First, we will write the verb phrase or VP, and then write it and divide it into several categories. The first is verb, because it is a verb phrase, and then we write spare under the V because spare is a verb. And then the next is noun phrase because the verb is transitive verb. And then the noun phrase here, the students, we know that it is also consists of determiner and noun, so that the noun phrase here in the tree is divided into determiner and noun, the as the determiner and student as the noun. And then we have any embarrassment, which is also a noun phrase, so that why we will divide it once more into noun phrase. Okay, we write the noun phrase in the tree and then divide it into determiner and noun, any as determiner and embarrassment as the noun. And then the last category is adverb phrase. The adverb phrase consists of a word, namely adverb, so that we draw the line and then write adv, and we know that the adverb in this phrase is yesterday, so that's why we write yesterday under the adv. So that's why the tree diagram look like this. The fourth rule is verbs can be modified by prepositional phrases as well. So in this rule, we have formula like verb phrase consists of adverb phrase plus optional verb, noun phrase, obligation if it is transitive, and then noun phrase optional, adverb phrase plus optional, prepositional phrase optional, adverb phrase optional. If we have an example of a phrase such as frequently got his bucket from the store for $1. So if we want to draw its tree diagram, it will look like in the picture. Okay, first as usual, we'll write the verb phrase or VP and then divide it into several categories. The first is adverb phrase because we know the frequently, the first word is an adverb phrase, so we write adverb phrase, and then adverb phrase we derive into adverb because we know that adverb phrase minimally consists of a word, namely adverb, one adverb. Okay, here we just write the frequently under the adv, and then the next category is verb. Then we know that got is the verb from this phrase. And then the next category is the noun phrase. Because we know that the verb here is transitive, so we need to write the noun phrase. The noun phrase here is divided into two, namely determiner and noun. His as determiner and package as the noun. And then we have prepositional phrase. This prepositional phrase is divided into two again, namely preposition and noun phrase. The preposition in this phrase is from, so we write the word from under the P. And then for the noun phrase, we divide it again into two, namely determiner and noun. The as determiner and store as the noun. And then the next is prepositional phrase. The last prepositional phrase is also divided into two, namely preposition and noun phrase. The second preposition in the phrase is for, so we just write the word for under the P. And then for the next noun phrase, we will divide it again into two, namely determiner and noun. As determiner and dollar as noun. And if you guys are wondering why the presenter categorizes his as determiner, not pronoun, it is because the presenter uses Andre Carney's book, in which the rule of noun phrase of determiner and noun. However, if you choose his as pronoun, it is remain correct.
Now we go to the next chapter, and it's about clauses. My name is Imasa Duvika with the student ID number 193281. Clauses. Thus far, we have noun phrase, verb phrase, adverb phrase, and prepositional phrase, and we have seen how they can be hierarchically organized with respect to one another. One thing that we have not accounted for is the structure of the sentence, or more accurately clause. A clause consists of a subject, noun phrase, and a verb phrase. The label we use for clause is TP, which stands for tense phrase. Here we have example rule of clauses. First is about tense phrase that consists of noun phrase and verb phrase. The example: Bill frequently got his bucket from the store for $1. Here we know that tense phrase consists of noun phrase and verb phrase. The noun phrase is Bill, while verb phrase is frequently got his bucket from the store for $1. This part of speech of each word in this example is Bill as noun, frequently as adverb, got as verb, his as determined, bucket as noun, from as preposition, the as determiner, store as noun, for as preposition, a as determiner, and dollar as a noun. Next, second is tense phrase consists of noun phrase, tense, and verb phrase. Tense phrase can also include other items, including unsurprisingly elements of the category tense, such as modal, verb, and auxiliary verb, like in sentence, Kedrick might crash the longboat. Here we can look in the diagram. Tense phrase consists of noun phrase, tense, and verb phrase. Noun phrase is Cedric, while tense is Mike, and verb phrase is crash the longboat. The part of speech of each word in this example is Cedric as noun, Mike as tense, crash as verb, D as determiner, and longboat as noun. Third, we have complementizer phrase that consists of complementizer and tense phrase. We need a special rule to introduce complementizer. The example: Son said that he decked the janitor. The tense phrase is Son said that he decked the janitor, that consists of noun phrase and verb phrase. Here, the complementizer phrase consists of complementizer, and tense phrase. So, the part of speech of each word in this example is sound as noun, said as verb, this as complementizer, he as noun, that as verb, the as determiner, and genitor as noun. The other example is sound said, he, that the janitor. The tense phrase consists of noun phrase and verb phrase. Verb phrase here consists of verb and complementizer phrase, while complementizer phrase here can be also called as tense phrase. The part of speech of each word in this example is sound as noun, said as verb, he as noun, that as verb, the as determiner, and genitor and noun phrase. As noun. This sentence will have a complementizer phrase in it even though there is no complementizer. We will assume that all embedded clauses are complementizer phrase, whether or not they have a complementizer. Okay, the next is tense phrase with the formula noun phrase or complementizer phrase, tense, and verb phrase. Because of this, we are going to have to modify our tense phrase and verb phrase to allow embedded clauses. Syntacticians usually bracket to indicate a choice. So, noun phrase or complementizer phrase mean that you are allowed either a noun phrase or a complementizer phrase, but not both. The modification to the tense phrase rule is relatively straightforward. We simply allow the choice between a noun phrase and a complementizer phrase in the initial noun phrase. Look the example that he, that the janitor, were a chef. Now look the diagram. The tense phrase here consists of complementizer phrase and verb phrase. Why is complementizer phrase? Because we only allow to choose one between noun phrase or complementizer phrase. Complementizer phrase here consists of complementizer and tense phrase. While the part of speech of each word in this example is that as complementizer, he as noun, that as verb, the as determiner, janitor as noun, worded as verb, while Jeff as noun. Next, we have a formula for verb phrase. That the formula is adverb phrase, verb, noun phrase or complementizer phrase, adverb phrase, prepositional phrase, adverb phrase. The example: Naomi asked Erin if Dan ate her kung pao chicken yesterday over the phone. The tense phrase here consists of noun phrase and verb phrase. We are going to explain about a verb phrase, the formula of verb phrase. Here the verb phrase consists of verb, noun phrase, complementizer phrase. Why is only complementizer? Because we back into the formula before that noun phrase or complementary phrase, we can only choose one of both. So, adverb phrase and prepositional phrase. The part of speech of each word in this example is Naomi as noun, as verb, Erin as noun if of complementizer, Dan as noun, at as verb, her as determiner, kung pao as adjective, chicken as noun, yesterday as adverb, over as preposition, the as determiner, and phone as noun. The last formula is about noun phrase, consists of determiner, adjective phrase, noun, prepositional phrase, and complementizer phrase. The example: the fact about Bill that he liked ice cream bothered Natasha. Here the tense phrase consists of noun phrase and verb phrase. The formula of noun phrase here consists of determiner, noun, prepositional phrase, and complementary phrase. Where verb phrase here consists of verb and noun phrase. The part of speech of each word in this example is the as determiner, fact as noun, about as preposition, bill as noun, that are complementary, he as noun, like as verb, exclaim as noun, bother as verb, Natasha as noun. I think enough here. The next material will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
And the next, we are going to talk about coordination or conjunction. One type of constituent is coordinated or combined constituents, with identical categories that are joined together with words like and, or, but, nor, and etc. Let's look at those examples. The blue and red station wagon. Blue and red. The coordination in A combines two adjectives, blue and red. The next example, I saw these dancers and those musicians smoking something suspicious. The coordination in B combines two noun phrases, these dancers and those musicians. Next, I'm drinking lemonade and eating a brownies. The coordination in C combines two verb phrases, drinking lemonade and eating a brownies. Next, I've lost my wallet or I've lost my mind. The coordination in this sentence is combined two sentences, I've lost my wallet and I've lost my mind. And the last, we went through the woods and over the bridge. The coordination in this last sentence is combined between two verb phrases, through the woods and over the bridge. So coordination seems to be able to join together with two identical categories and create a new identical category out of them. In order to draw trees with conjunction in them, we need two more rules. One to conjoin the phrases and one to conjoin words. So if we want to analyze a sentence, we have to choose where is the conjunction first. Then we can analyze a sentence or words before the conjunction and after the conjunction. Let's look at those examples. Blue and red. And is the conjunction. Blue as the words before the conjunction is an adjective, and red is a word after the conjunction is an adjective. Blue and red, adjective, conjunction, and adjective. The next, these dancers and those musicians. The conjunction is and, so we have to analyze these dancers and those musicians. This is the determiner and dancers is the noun. Next, those musicians, those is the determiner and musicians is the noun. Next, drinking lemonade and eating brownies. The conjunction is and we have to analyze drinking lemonade and eating brownies. Drinking is a verb, lemonade is a noun, eating is a verb, and brownies is a noun. Same as the last examples is about tense phrases. So I think that's all our presentation. Thank you very much for your nice attention. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any question. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.